I'm Recoded Zaphod, and welcome to a new series, which, as you may have gathered from the title sequence and probably the title of this video, I am now on the Lyfcraft server. Lyfcraft server is a multiplayer survival server full of a bunch of awesome content creators, and I am very pleased to be joining them. To kick off this episode, I'm going to start with a compilation of clips from my first day on the server, and yeah, I'm just going to roll through the important bits of what happened.
Hey, Zaphod, are you in?
Hello.
Oh, he's in voice. Hello.
Yay!
Yay. Join us.
So there's going to be a mix of voiceover and actual sound from the footage in this, because there's lots of cuts and I didn't want to overwhelm with lots of different sounds jumping in and out. But I started, same as usual, getting wood, crafting some tools, and yeah, getting some kelp for food and almost drowning, and then into the first night, I believe.
Gee.
Ah, creeper.
Oops.
Thanks,
Oh,
Elsa.
breathing would be good.
Why level am I at? Let's see, I'm at...
I should do that.
Oh, is
I'm
that
at 34.
Spider
Oh, great.
over
I'm
there?
working my way down. I don't want to get lost.
No!
Uh-oh.
Ah,
Good to know what up the
What?
stairs was.
ah,
Oh,
Okay, let's
there
go
it
this
is.
that's
way.
a skeleton jockey.
Rip.
Ooh,
Guys are dead.
Yep.
Ah.
Are you?
I
You
forgot.
landed the bed here. Did you end up back at the spawn?
Yeah, I ended up back at the spawn. I probably should have clicked on that bed.
I'll come fetch you. I'll come fetch you.
What a kind gesture. Where did you learn those kind of manners?
Well, you know, someone set a good example to me. I don't remember who that was though.
Oh, wouldn't be
Not
me.
that
But that's okay. I'm gonna get lost on the way here. So,
Well, I'm swimming across. Oh, I see you.
aha!
Hello, cod person.
Oh, would you like a
I
ride?
Yes.
heard that.
Yeah, I heard that as well.
Heard what? Was there a creeper?
Okay, well, you're
Yeah.
boating
Yeah,
now.
it was some kind of
Yes,
explosion.
yeah, I'm a little behind. I missed the disc.
And after some more mobs, I went into the caves.
Oh, I got a fish.
I was just coming to get you,
Ah,
but you're already
creeper.
here.
Nope, not next to
I'm
lava,
in.
not next to lava.
I shall take.
And there were a lot of us online because it was the first day. But I managed to find a cave which other people weren't in, so I managed to get some resources, get some iron boots on, and then I went off exploring, heading towards where I want to set up my base. So here you can see I came across a village, grabbed some of the sugarcane there, and I decided to take the bell as well, because they're quite expensive to buy even once you do get villager trading. But yeah, I had to keep on travelling because I am way off to the northeast, and you can see me approaching my home here, which is going to be a shattered savanna island area, which I quite like the terrain in, so I thought it'd be quite exciting. And once there, I went and did some more mining and caving, and I managed to get myself some wool from a sheep, and I did that without killing the sheep, because one of my aims for this season is to do a sort of ethical run. So I'm not, battery farming the animals in tiny spaces or anything like that. And getting to the Nether was one of my quick aims, and I might have been first to the Nether. I'm not sure. Other people might have gone first. Okay, I'm definitely not ready to do this, but here goes.
Oh.
Ooh,
Oh.
it's
Oh,
gone.
GG.
I turned up in a fortress.
Nice.
Wow.
Really?
So I quickly crafted up some gold boots because I had some gold, and now in the Nether it's worth wearing some gold to stop the piglins instantly attacking you. And I did some looting in the fortress, watching out for piglins because they don't like you opening chests, and that was where I found my first diamonds, which was quite nice. And there was 3, which is exactly as many as I need to craft up a diamond pick, which means I could now actually mine obsidian rather than just having to make portals out of buckets of lava and buckets of water. I also did a little bit of exploring around the area that the fortress is in. Turns out it was in a crimson forest, which is quite nice, and it's next to a warped forest, which is also quite good, and there's a huge lava lake to one side. Crimson forest is a little bit dangerous because of these hoglins, but with a shield they're a lot less of an issue. I did then decide to try and build a path from my own over to the spawn islands, and that was what I was going to use the obsidian for. And it turns out this goes straight through a bastion, which I decided I was not ready to raid or steal stuff from because the piglins are pretty powerful and I do not have good weapons yet. And I was marking out my path through the nether with scompasses.
I'm just gonna.
Where have we?
Oh my!
Hey.
I'm.
Oh,
in
have you
the,
come out of my portal?
Yeah, I think so.
Ah. The nether is still quite a dangerous place, and I did have to dodge a few ghasts and other mobs trying to attack me as I marked through my path, but I eventually got the coordinates for the spawn area and built a portal through.
You know, we got no arm one.
Let's see how this goes. Oh! Hello,
Well,
I've
this
popped
portal
out
just
next to...
popped-
Hello, Eldon.
popped out right where I stood. Just suddenly there was a portal in my face.
Well, there you go, that saves you making one.
Ah,
And as Cosmo had come through at my portal, I decided to give a hand trying to find where his portal should link up in the nether. He didn't actually have any gold, so we had a little bit of an issue with some piglins, but we dealt with that, and there's also some blaze issues, but we started building out a path to where his portal needed to be, which turned out to be over the middle of a lava lake, so yeah, ended up being a bit of a bridge over, and it worked.
Fine, I'll take you back to my base.
Found a blaze spawner.
Yeah.
Hey.
Now I just need to not die. And my axe broke. Okay.
Oh.
As I now had access to obsidian, I moved my portal from the ravine up to the surface of the world to make it a little bit easier to go in and out of the nether.
Fingers crossed.
Are you gonna come through ours?
No, wait. I came through the right way. And going back, this is a big question. Does it link up with my top one or my bottom one? It links up with my top one. Wonderful. That's ideal.
Oh,
I then got started farming because I needed a source of food, and I also tried to tame some horses that I found on the plains side of my island. Come on, horsey, love me. Hey!
Yay, GG.
Making it rain.
I then used that horse to explore my island a little bit and get the lay of the land. And I then did a little bit more farming and made a map. I also encountered a wandering trader wandering around my island. I then went off and did a little more exploring, including going down to a sunken ship off the shores and using that map to try and find some treasure, which turned out to actually be down the bottom of a ravine, which was extremely deep, so much so that I actually drowned trying to swim back from it. But I quickly returned with some air pockets made by doors and managed to get my hands on all that sweet loot that was inside the buried treasure. There was, in fact, another shipwreck with a treasure map around my island, and that pointed to a much more easy to find buried treasure, which was, yeah, quite near the shore. So I managed to get that one as well and get all the loot. I then became a bit more purposeful, going to the nether to try and gather some ender pearls for the project, which will probably be in the next episode. So yeah, you'll see why I'm hunting ender pearls there. First enderman didn't give me one, but the second one did. Ooh. And as I mentioned before, the nether is a bit deadly. With the skeleton. Nope, nope. Okay.
Oh dear.
Uh-oh.
That was quick.
kind of fatal.
This then started a death loop where I would run into the nether to get my stuff and promptly get killed again. again by a wither skeleton, and each time I would try and craft up some more gold boots. You might notice in the background there, one of the baby piglin had nicked my pair of gold boots, which I had lost. So I was rapidly running out of gold. And yeah, every time I went in and died having crafted some boots, I lost those boots. Well, most times. Occasionally they were still there when I went back to get them. And yeah, the wither skeletons were a little persistent, shall we say. That's not to say I didn't manage to take down a few of them myself, but they weren't the only danger in the Nether, and even a little baby hoglin, and then a big hoglin, and then a blaze from behind. Everything seemed to be out to get me this time, and that time I think even one of the adult piglins jumped in because I hadn't put any gold boots on at that point. And yeah, it just sort of kept happening. Respawn to the Nether, get killed by something, respawn to the Nether, get killed again. And yeah, again, piglins wants to get involved. I think this time, it might have been a blaze this time. You know, bit of variation. Yep, there's a blaze death in there. And I don't think it helped that partway through one of these runs to get my stuff and heal back up, and the server had a restart, so that was a little unhelpful as well. Although, of course, you know, I probably shouldn't blame the server restart for all of my deaths. And coming back, I managed to get my revenge on a blaze and pick up some stuff, and I thought I was doing quite well. And then an Enderman jumped on me, which I think might have been one of the ones that I'd been fighting earlier and looked at, and it teleported away. So again, still slightly my fault. But at this point, I went back to the overworld, and I decided to relax. I would dig a bubble column down to diamond level and do some mining. And that paid off. I managed to get my first mined diamonds. And that is where I'm going to end it for this episode. I hope you were happy with this slightly different editing style of sort of compilation of clips with a voiceover. As always, I'd love to hear your feedback down in the comments below the video. I've been Recoded Zaphod, and thanks for watching.